Puck pulls it. Cross-side pass. Draisaitl towards the net. Score! Leon Draisaitl in overtime. The Edmonton Oilers tie the.
Welcome and thanks for watching. Yet there's the goal that brought us Panthers fans, me and the rest of the 6 Panthers fans, down from an all-time high with that Sam Reinhart goal within seconds of regulation ending to bring the game to overtime. Back down to the low we were at when we blew the 3-0 lead in this game in the first place. Leon Draisaitl puts the game on ice in overtime for the Edmonton Oilers in what is, no matter who won, was actually a crucial game in swinging this series. If the Panthers were to maintain their 3-0 lead throughout this game, the Panthers would have been sitting comfortably, heading back to Edmonton for Game 5, up 3-1. Yet the Oilers fought their way back, and now it's 2-2 heading back home for the Oilers. So this was a crucial game in how the series is looking, how the series was heading. Because, 3-1 leads, they're hard to get. It's hard to win 3 in a row, even though the Oilers did it last year. And I bet last year they wish they just had one game coming down for that 3-0 comeback to ultimately losing Game 7. They wish they had one game before winning those 3 straight. But no matter what, it's 2-2, heading back to Edmonton after a great Stanley Cup Finals game. That was there's been so many good games throughout the series. There's been 3 out of the 4 games have been incredible. All the games for me have been incredible because it's either a good game and the Panthers lose, or it was an absolute ass-kicking Game 3, 6-1, and we were just beating their ass physically, mentally, in the game, skill-wise, everything. We were just beating them down in Game 3, but different story in Game 4. We thought there was going to be another replica game in Game 3, but in Game 4 they came out, and they showed some heart coming back 3-0. But this series has been incredible. 3 out of the 4 games have been in overtime. Game 3 was, I guess, to the regular fans, a shit game. But to me, it wasn't, obviously. 5-4, Edmonton wins in the Panthers barn. The barn was rocking. Taylor Swift was there. That's how you know it's a big deal. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were there. Jaromir Jagr was there. Jason Taylor banging the drum. Another Dolphins player. That's why we lost. Can't wait to hear that on Twitter. But, incredible game. Panthers opened it up, scoring 3 unanswered goals. 2 straight off the power play by Matthew Tkachuk. And then Anton Lundell continued the scoring. It's 3-0 heading into the second. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins got the Edmonton on the board after a penalty on a power play. Darnell Nurse followed. And then Podkolzin followed again. It's 3-3 heading into the third period. And then the puck was right behind the net in this third period. Puck right behind the net. Nugent-Hopkins battling 3 or 4 different Panthers players trying to get the puck from him. He's able to keep it alive, and not give up the puck. I think Reinhart gets it out, but then he gets a pass to Barkov, who has a terrible turnover, and Jake Wallman puts the Oilers up 4-3. Well, then Panthers have to pull Bobrovsky. 20 seconds left in the game. Sam Reinhart on an assist from Sam Bennett. Matthew Tkachuk fumbling the puck around and on his stick. Sam Bennett hits Sam Reinhart. Goal. It's tied. The barn's rocking. Incredible. It's such a good goal. It was such a crazy atmosphere that I'm even going to give the call, even though they lost.
Becker. Now Kulak. Held in by Verhaeghe. Now across. Tkachuk with it. Score!
Like, if the Panthers were just able to put the game away in overtime and win, this would have been the greatest game in Panthers history, for sure. This would have Stanley Cup Finals. You put your team up 3-1. You have a goal in under 20 seconds sent it overtime. Then you win in overtime. Greatest game in Panthers history. I wish we won in overtime, because it's such a worse feeling. This game was just an add-on of emotion. It was just an emotional roller coaster game. But now that we lost in overtime, and that is the final outcome, it's just terrible. It just feels demoralizing. Even though you're up, even though you have it 2-2, when the series is tied 2-2, it just feels demoralizing. I'm pretty sure it feels demoralizing for the Panthers. But their attitude at Paul Maurice, they'll get over it. Short-term memory, and they'll be on their way Saturday. And they'll be ready to play on Saturday. And in Edmonton, unfortunately. Just getting 3-0. First, starting off the game 3-0. coming off of a 6-1 victory in a Stanley Cup Finals game against a really good team, against a powerhouse team, a team that smoked the Western Conference. So getting what? I don't even know how many unanswered would be if you count the games carrying over from Game 3. But no matter what, starting off 9-1 over 2 games, blowing that 3-0 lead this game with 3 unanswered for the Oilers. Then they score again, 4 unanswered. Then you tie it. Seconds left. Barnes rocking. Arena's rocking. They're showing Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift like it's a Chiefs game. I mean, Jesus. I didn't know we were on CBS showing him like it's a Chiefs game. You show him a little less. I mean, I don't really care. See him once, that's cool. See him twice, okay, but about 5 times already. I could care less about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce at this point. It's an NHL game. Totally different. They don't even know what's going on. But then Sam Reinhart scores, ties it up. Then Draisaitl, and then at the end of the day, you still blew that 3-0 lead. You thought it would be alright that we blew that 3-0 lead when Sam Reinhart scored. At the end of the day, it still feels the same, but even worse because it's an overtime loss after coming back down. Even though you're up a 3-0 lead in the game, it's so hard to just explain the emotions of that happening. But you know what? Coming into this game, I expected Connor McDavid, I expected Leon Draisaitl, I expect the whole Oilers team to come out better than they did. But ultimately, they got it together. They won the game. They put it together. They won the game, and they came out great over 2 periods, just not the first. And I expected them, honestly, I did not expect the Panthers to dominate the game like Game 3. That's not going to happen ever again in this series. But also, I expected the Oilers to put up way more of a fight. And ultimately, I thought they probably would win this game. I thought this would be the game they take at home. On the road, I meant. So, looking at it, you can say it's all right. 2-2 at Edmonton. Panthers are good on the road. It will be just going to be just fine. But just the way this happened makes it even worse. We should have won this game. We should be up comfortably 3-1, and we should have been able to go back home for Game 6 and win the Stanley Cup. But you still have the opportunity to do that. With the series tied 2-2. Got to take the next 2. Win it in 6. Peas in 6. Now let's get something that makes me feel a little bit better about the Panthers having the worst loss in franchise history. Yes, put that in the record books. The worst loss in Panthers franchise history came in Game 4 of the 2025 Stanley Cup Finals when they blew a 3-0 lead, came back, and still lost in overtime. Worst loss in Panthers history. Declare it. Tell your kids about it. But now let's get to the NBA. Let's get to something in the NBA, the talk of the town, that just makes me feel better tonight. And that's seeing the Knicks consistently fall on their face at the door of every team that has a competent head coach. Yes, because the New York Knicks are trying to interview every team's head coach that has found success. After firing Tom Thibodeau, who got the team to their first Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years, who brought the team to multiple playoff appearances, who brought the Garden back to bumping, who brought ticket sales back up, who brought the team back to success that they never seen before, and did it with a point guard, with a 6th Man of the Year point guard, and brought him to stardom. They fired Tom Thibodeau also. Here's his 226 wins and 174 losses as Knicks head coach, and that brings him to, if for coaches that have played more or coached for more than 3 years on the Knicks, to the 4th highest winning percentage in franchise history. And that is behind Jeff Van Gundy, Pat Riley, Jeff Van Gundy, and John, Joe Lapchick. 4th highest winning percentage amongst coaches who coached for more than 3 years as the Knicks head coach. And that's because Mike Woodson coached 2 or 3 years, and Don Nelson coached 1, and they have some, above 500 win percentages as the Knicks coach. But other than that, Tom Thibodeau, obviously one of the best head coaches in Knicks franchise history, gets fired. And now the Knicks think they're going to go interview Jason Kidd and not get denied by the Mavs after he brought them to a finals and is about to get Cooper Flag. They think they're going to go interview Chris Finch, who brought his team, the Timberwolves, to 2 straight Western Conference Finals and has brought the franchise the most success they ever seen. They think they're going to go find Ime Udoka, who's a really good coach, and the Houston Rockets are going to bow down to the powerhouse New York Knicks and just let them interview him. That's not how it works. And what makes this even more embarrassing is not just, shooting your shot and hoping for a bucket, just putting up shots. You can't make a shot if you don't shoot it. But that's not the most embarrassing part. The most embarrassing part is firing a clearly successful head coach with your organization who turned, I don't even think, a team that should have worked into a Eastern Conference Finals Game 6 losing team. 2 games away from the finals, that means. The most embarrassing part is them not even showing a plan. They're showing a plan that was clearly, if you asked anyone, would not work. Going out and trying to steal and poach other teams' coaches. Well, you have to ask them to steal. It's like, can I come in your house and steal your TV that is worth $1,000? Obviously, the homeowner's gonna say, hell no, get the hell away from me. Like, what? And then the Knicks fans think they're gonna go get Eric Spoelstra. That's like going up to someone and asking, can I trade you for something that has been in your family for years and years and years? No, it's priceless. What do they think this is? What do the Knicks and Knicks fans think this head coaching search is? You have to go out with a plan and find a coach that is in coaching free agency. And they haven't shown a plan to do that. If the Knicks came out within the week of firing Tom Thibodeau, within 2 weeks of firing Tom Thibodeau, and showed a plan of going out and interviewing Dan Hurley, going out and interviewing Jay Wright, going out and interviewing even Doc Rivers, they would have shown some signs of a plan to anybody. But they didn't. There's no plan there. They didn't have a option after firing Tom Thibodeau. They just fired him because they didn't like what he did in the Eastern Conference Finals. Not what he did in the regular season. They didn't make the playoffs. Not what he did in the first round that caused them to lose. Not what he even did in the second round that caused them to lose. But he lost to a Pacers team that's also beating on the best team, one of the best teams ever, and beat the Celtics. Beat the Cavs, which were also a really good historically regular season team, and beat the Bucks, who beat Giannis. The Pacers are nothing to laugh at in hindsight. And the Knicks are clearly showing that they did not have a clear path to find a head coach after firing Tom Thibodeau. And that is just laughable, and I find it amazing that they are falling right on their asses and falling face first, actually, in trying to find a coach. Because then they're going to end up with Doc Rivers, the old trusty go-to, who's going to get you a second-round exit. Good luck with Doc Rivers when you get him, because you wanted to fire Tom Thibodeau. Or go ahead and try to rehire Tom Thibodeau, see if that works. That would be funny if they have to go and beg Tom Thibodeau to come back because they can't find another coach. They'll find another coach. I think they'll approach Jay Wright. It will be interesting because of the Villanova connection. I think they'll approach Dan Hurley, as I said, because UConn, his season didn't go great. He's probably wishing he accepted that Lakers job after they got Luka Doncic. But also, I think they'll go after an NBA coach, former NBA coach, and somebody's out there. Who's out there? There's a really good NBA coach out there. I forgot. Not Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers sucks. Who is it? NBA coaches. I'm telling you, Mike Malone or guy from Memphis, Chris Jenkins. Mike Malone, I think, would probably be the option. Would probably be the go-to. Championship experience. Doc Rivers has championship experience. If you didn't know, he's still hanging on to that championship experience. I think still hanging on from his resume from about 25 years ago. 2008 title. Doc Rivers, winning head coach, 2008 title. The rest hasn't got past the second round. Garbage. I want the Knicks hire Doc Rivers. I'll laugh even more. I'll have a parade. We'll have a parade if the Knicks hire Doc Rivers. Because that's easy playoff win for the Miami Heat. Easy playoff win for anybody. And the Knicks will be right back into shambles if they ever hire Doc Rivers. I hope they hire Doc Rivers. Please hire Doc Rivers. Leon Rose, you inexperienced GM and sports agent, please hire Doc Rivers. And James Dolan, showing he's still an incompetent owner when it comes to basketball operations. Please hire Doc Rivers. Please, don't go get Mike Malone or anyone else. Please. But the Knicks, completely embarrassing. Now, the second biggest story in the NBA behind the Tom Thibodeau Knicks coaching search bonanza is Kevin Durant. Where will Kevin Durant be traded? He's ultimately going to be traded. I have multiple videos on it about where I think he should go, why I think certain teams shouldn't get him. But Shams reported the Suns are sourcing through the Heat, the Spurs, the Rockets and the Timberwolves. I believe there's one other team in there maybe, but that's what Sham said. The Suns have KD is basically guided down to those 5 teams. That's probably where he's going to get traded before the NBA draft. Now, all those teams, they need that extra score. KD averaged about 26 points per game, I believe. 25 points. It was 26 points per game last season. Incredible score. Just had no help around him. Had no bigs around him. The Suns just weren't a good team last year. He's asking out. He wants to get out. He's 37 years old. He wants to try to win. And, those are all teams that are young and also need that score, but also have pieces that will complement. Did I just make that up? That will complement KD and his just scoring ability. But one of the teams in there, if you're watching this, it's our Miami Heat, and the Heat need them. And the Heat, what I'm reading, the Heat are like one of those teams that are heavily up there above those 5, above like all the bottom 3. To get KD, I believe the Heat are probably front runners to get KD this offseason because I believe they are the team that wants to be the most aggressive in getting him and who needs him the most just for what's going on right now with the franchise. It's looking bad. They need something to bring it up, and right now they need someone that they actually end up getting, a superstar they actually end up getting, even though it's a 37-year-old KD. They need to finally get KD after all these years, finally get a superstar after all these years, and not strike out again. So I believe the Heat are the most likely to get him. I believe we are going to get him, and I believe that they want to get him desperately. Even though that comes at the result of not trading Kalower. Do not trade Kalower. It's not worth it. He wants out anyways. You have all the power here. But here's something that Tyler Hero said on stream. Aiden Ross, big streamer. He's in Miami. Lives in Miami. Does his streams in Miami. Has a whole bunch of creators on there. Who hasn't heard of Aiden Ross? If you haven't, you're probably about 35 plus years old. But here's what he had Tyler Hero on. Here's what he had to say. Made me feel nicey.
Your top 5.
Oh yes, Steph Curry at point.
Okay.
I like Kobe at the 2.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron at the 3.
Mm-hmm.
KD.
Okay.
KD.
No way.
KD
He's
at the
coming?
4. Well, I said KD at the 4.
I'm sorry, Tyler. How did
First time I heard that, I started jumping up and down. I started jumping up and down. Who? What Miami Heat fan doesn't want to hear that? Tyler Hero looks like he's not trying to, he's not trying to get that tampering fine. He's not trying to get that tampering fine. But he's tampering at the same time. Suggesting and putting that pressure on the Heat. He's suggesting to the fan base that the Heat are going to get KD, which is going to put more pressure on the Heat. The fan base is going to put more pressure on the Heat to get KD, and I love it. That means he wants KD, he wants some help, because when the teams figure him out scoring-wise, he's in a box, and Bam obviously ain't scoring for him. Bam is what he is. But I just love to hear that, Jimmy Butler posted his trolls about Damian Lillard, and Damian Lillard should have been in a Miami Heat jersey. It's just dumb Joe Cronin didn't want to trade him to the Miami Heat, because he's an idiot. And look how that's working out for the Portland Trail Blazers. They're complete dog shit. And honestly, it's working out not that bad from the Heat. Because if Tyler Hero wasn't that trade package, it wouldn't have been a good trade for the Heat to get Damian Lillard, who just, I believe, tore his Achilles, teared his ACL. One of those devastating injuries. But, just Tyler Hero saying that just makes me feel nicey, especially seeing that after the Panthers lost the worst loss in franchise history. But does he know something? Does Tyler Hero know something that we don't? And I believe that actually does show something. I believe it does show that the Heat are aggressively, like I expected them to be, trying to get KD. Because they know, and this Tyler Hero needs to throw it in the air. He needs to throw it out the air suggesting KD's coming. Because the Spurs have more assets on paper. It just depends on what they're able to give up. But ultimately, you're looking at the whole roster of all these teams that are in the race for Kevin Durant. The Heat are probably the lesser than team with the amount of assets they could give up. It's all about what teams are willing to give up. But assets that are potential that could be traded for KD. The Spurs have more assets. The Rockets have more assets. Timberwolves, Nas Reed, more assets. So it's possible. You need to be able to throw this out there, and I believe this is suggesting that the Heat front office, Pat Riley, is trying to get his, at least this could be his last whale, even though 2026, Luka, Ant, all those people are free agents. And you know that's the prime time, that's the target year. But we need something for this season. The Heat fans need something. They need someone to latch onto besides Tyler Hero. Someone that gives them confidence that this team can at least make it past the first round, even the second round, and try to compete in the Eastern Conference Finals, especially in a weaker conference now. Jason Tatum is out for most of the season. Jaylen Brown just got surgery. The Celtics are weaker. The Knicks are weaker because their whole head coaching thing is backfiring on them, what it looks like just after a week of firing Tom Thibodeau. We just talked about it. The Knicks, the Celtics, the Pacers are getting stronger. Need to add on. So the team's getting stronger, and Damian Lillard's out also. Bucks, Knicks, Celtics look like they're all getting weaker, while the Pacers are getting stronger. The Pistons are getting stronger. Need to attack, and try to get stronger also, and try to capitalize on all these teams that have had your number, and all the teams that are also getting weaker, and all the teams that are getting stronger. You gotta try to attack and gotta try to win now. You gotta try to win. You know, the Heat are all about winning now. Guess what? We have no hope to believe that winning now will work unless you get KD. You ain't gonna get Giannis. KD is our next best option. And guess what? Tyler Hero is throwing it out there that KD is coming to Miami, with just those subtle clues that get the fan base talking, which gets the front office a little bit more pressure. Puts a little bit more pressure on them. It's all about pressure. We gotta pressure Pat Riley to waking up a little bit more early, getting on the phone with the Suns and getting this deal done already. Tired of waiting around. But I know if also the thing about this deal is it could be made right after draft night, because if the Heat just pick for the Suns, or pick for a team they trade with for that 20th pick we have, they can also add on another pick due to like the Stepien rule or something. That's my NBA 2K knowledge right there. The Stepien rule. So if they draft just Walter Clayton, for example, they can also trade 2 additional picks for that player. Instead of but they do it before the draft, they can only trade that 20th pick and 1 more pick. You know, because that'll count as 2 picks. And then the other one would just count as also 2 picks and not 3 picks. So they could give up 3 picks technically if it happens after the draft. So it's all about the timing also. And that can help us not give up Khalil Ware or not give up Jovic maybe. Even though I expect one of those 2, along with Hawkes and Duncan Robinson, to be gone in that KD trade. But Tyler Hero putting on for us Heat fans, putting that pressure on, baby. Putting that pressure on. Hopefully we get Kevin Durant. If we don't get Kevin Durant, I will burn every Heat jersey I got. Burn every Heat memorabilia item I got, because I'm tired of striking out on stars that we need to win. We don't have enough to win, especially without Jimmy Butler. Get Kevin